Hello everyone. What is happening to the state of football in the UK? The level of refereeing is just simply astonishing, and not astonishing in a good way. Now, refereeing has always been a point of contention. You've always had bad referees. Sometimes it's been incredibly blatant, it's been obvious, but recently, and this has been highlighted over the weekend, a referee in particular, Michael Oliver, made a decision which has been universally criticized. And this has been very surprising, because it's not just the supporters and fans of that particular team, but media in general have criticized his decision. And what has been the effect of this? Well, it hasn't been, okay, maybe the referee has made a mistake. So PGMOL, which is a body of referees that would investigate and criticize the referee's decision, instead of taking this on board, it seems to have galvanized them into becoming the victim. So they have doubled down on supporting him, and they've issued a statement that saying that this particular referee has received death threats and abuse, and it's not tolerated. Now, it's widely accepted that referees receive abuse, and obviously this is not acceptable. Abuse towards the referee is not acceptable, because they are just doing their job. But why have they issued a statement now when they could have issued a statement before? So if we have a look at this decision, it's a shocking decision. It's an obvious decision where this particular foul should have been a yellow card. The Arsenal player fouls the opposing player, yes, but it's not a reckless challenge in how you think about how a red card should be given. Now, the other shocking thing is that VAR, who also inspected this and saw this, did not challenge or did not even encourage the referee to go over to the monitor to check. And the decision was made so quickly. Yet when we have an offside goal, it can take a few minutes. It can take up to 3 or 4 minutes. And VAR is looking at all the different angles. But with this decision, it was taken so quickly, and it seemed like an emotional decision. And it's a shame, because yes, the referee made a mistake, but VAR, and sometimes you have up to 4 people in VAR looking at all the different angles. It should be standard practice for them, if they are not sure, to then encourage the referee to go over to the monitor and to look, and if he needs to change his mind, then he can change his mind. But it seems that it feels like it's this belief that if the referee changes his mind, then it undermines the referee's authority. But this shouldn't be the case, because we are humans. Humans make mistakes. And this is part of sport, yes. But we have the technology there to check, and it doesn't take that long to check. So if the referee has made a mistake, which is only normal, then that's part and parcel of the sport. And it's much better to get the right decision, get all the help that you can, because it's not about the referees. I think the best referees are the ones where you don't even notice that they're there. They're making the correct calls. They are evaluating the game state. If a yellow or red card needs to be issued, then yes, they will do that. But it feels like the attention isn't on the referee, and it feels like this is just a case of having a big ego and saying I'm the man and I'm have the authority to make this decision. And yeah, it's just completely shocking, particularly if you look at this particular referee and the amount of bad calls he's made against Arsenal, in particular Manchester City. He hasn't made those decisions. And why is that? Why hasn't he made these decisions when it's been an obvious foul? I think it's because I'll let that slide, but in this particular match, I think I will follow the rules of the law that are laid out. And it's almost like they can pick and choose when they want to follow the rules. And you're listening to the commentators, and some of the commentators are saying, yeah, that's fair. He has to follow the law. He has to follow the rules. But in other matches, he doesn't. And what's even more, I have to pick my words carefully here because it's just so shocking. In the same match, he issues a yellow card to the opposing team who commits a worse foul than the Arsenal player. Now, it doesn't matter if you are an Arsenal fan or if you are not an Arsenal fan. I think it's just if you love the game, if you love football, and you're seeing things like this, if it doesn't make you sick to your stomach, I don't know if you really care about the sport. Because yes, you want your own team to do well, and you have rivalries between other teams and you have banter. But if you look at the decisions being made and the fact that one person gets it wrong, then 4 more people get it wrong that are viewing this and have multiple angles and don't even encourage the referee to check. I'm sorry, this just reeks of corruption. It just reeks of unfairness, and it's undermining the sport. The referees don't want to undermine themselves, but this is undermining the sport. They are elevating themselves higher than the sport, and they are turning the sport into just pure entertainment. Now, yes, football is entertainment. It's a way for people just to escape from everyday life. Some people spend a lot of money on football. If it's attending the matches, or spending money on merchandise, or on TV subscriptions, and even investing their time and their energy, and they're following this team. And it gives them a lot of enjoyment. And so they're giving a lot of themselves. But then to see something like this and to see it not even questioned, that's the most disappointing thing, where it's in your face. It's in your face that this decision is wrong. They need to admit that they made a decision, but they won't because they want to save face. And then they will divert people's attention when they realize, okay, we cannot gaslight people. And it feels like they're gaslighting because they're trying to tell everyone that he was correct in his decision. And then you start to think, was he really correct in his decision? No, he wasn't. It was a wrong decision. And he's made consistently wrong decisions over time. If you look at his history, this is the 8th red card he's shown to Arsenal, I think in 45 games, but 0 to Manchester City. And guess who Arsenal was playing next? Manchester City. So they're without a vital player, which is going to hinder them a lot, which lowers their chances of winning. So you have to look at the bigger picture when it comes to making these decisions, because people are not making him a scapegoat. They are just looking at the facts. And the PGMOL are unable to say, okay, he made a mistake. So they've issued lots of apologies before, and apologies apologies do not matter. If you think about how much money is invested in this sport, it's huge. The amount of followers is huge. And for them just to operate like it's a club where we will support each other even if we make a wrong decision. Businesses do not work like this. They have independent bodies that are separate from each other that can evaluate what's happening. Even within a normal business, you have things like HR, where you can issue grievances. And sometimes even HR can be biased towards the company. And if that's the case, you can go to someone independent and then they can evaluate it. But what's happening here is that the referees, they seem to have all the power, even if they're making a mistake, even if it's tarnishing the image of the game around the world, they just don't care. So then by issuing this statement saying that the referees, they're having abuse hurled at themselves, their family, death threats. Yes, and I've said this before, that's abhorrent. That shouldn't happen. That should be cut out of the game. But to issue it now and not issue it before, to me, it's just so obvious that they are just trying to divert your attention and saying this is wrong. So if we think about practical steps, Arsenal, they could have protested against the decision. They could have said, okay, we're not going to play this game, but they kept going. And gratefully, thankfully, they won. It would have been a totally different story if they had lost, but they won and they've kept going. And so for that, I really admire their spirit, with the ability just to keep going in the face of so many bad decisions. It was fantastic to watch. And if we just think about in life where you have unfair things happen to you, life isn't rosy. You may do everything perfectly, and then someone can come and take that opportunity away from you right in front of your face. But to keep going and then just to win, which was amazing, because you're showing to the referee who made this wrong decision that you won't stop us from winning. So that was amazing. But I think other teams have to get together and raise their concerns about what's happening, because it's unacceptable. And as a football fan, it just left a sick feeling in my stomach. And it's been happening over the season that you just feel, why am I wasting my time? It's like, it's so obvious that these decisions are wrong, and I love supporting Arsenal, but when you keep seeing these mistakes over and over and over again, what can you do? It makes you feel like switching off the TV, and it's something which is supposed to give you some enjoyment, even when things are difficult, which you can understand. But when it's so blatant, it needs to be stopped. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think that anything can be done? What should be done? What did you think about this decision if you saw it? I would love to hear from you. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.